Okay, I wanted to start by speaking about Soviet genes. They touched upon it in the press presentation. It's obviously like the 1970s, kind of in Latvia, there was so much tension bubbling under the surface. How much of an important perk and enjoyable aspect is that as being an actor, learning about your own country's history and learning, I guess, in some ways about yourself as well in the process?
I think it's the best thing about acting, actually, because the main thing why it really matters for me to be an actor, that this profession makes you a better person. You know, you are encouraged or invited to empathize with others. You know, show compassion to other people, and example for like people who you don't agree with or you haven't never met. You know them. So I'm really happy about that. And with every story, you feel like a bigger human being. You know, and. Yeah, that's what Devrim said as well, you know, about listening into each other, observing, putting yourself away. That's important as well, and to be able to listen. So that's my favorite part about acting. And 70s, of course, as I mentioned before, you know, of course I knew what happened in those times, but I wasn't fully aware of that because I wasn't living it, you know. There's a difference between knowing and understanding. And when you have those real person experiences, real stories, and they are still alive and you can meet them, you know. I met a person who was one of my prototypes actually in Soviet genes, and we met with him and he's saying like, are your genes real? I said, well, yeah, H&M jeans, that's no real stuff. He opened his thing and there was like Levi's, you know, Montana, everything, and he gave me a gift, like true, like real jeans. So, you know, and we have a true friendship right now. And you know, when I was telling the story of Soviet genes, the arc, I always remembered his experience because those are real people who actually had those kind of circumstances and crucial situations, you know. And it really disarms you as an actor. It helps you to bring emotional stuff, you know. You don't have to, like, out of cuff come with something, you know. You have real person who you love, you have spoken to, and it helps.
I might need to get his number from you. I need some new jeans at the moment.
Okay, I'll give you afterwards. Yeah.
But I'm interested by that because, I mean, obviously playing real people must be such a fascinating aspect of, and you've spoken about that being an amazing experience as an actor. But could you see yourself tempted by fantasy and kind of movies that step outside reality and bring human nature to something that's not human?
Definitely. Well, that's why I'm here, right? Because there's like a small possibility that in Latvia we will shoot a fantasy type of film, you know. No, you know, as an actor, you're like a child. You're full of imagination, you know, and you try not to lose the childishness, you know, inside yourself. So those kind of stories, they heal you. You don't just, you know, like, I don't know. It would be just a great experience to have. Yeah, something like that. I would love to be a hero in a video game as well. You know, that kind of work. Super, like, yeah.
Well, maybe a basketball game.
Basketball game, yeah, could be.
Yeah. But one more question on Soviet genes before we move on. But I loved, because it's got a real punk spirit to it, but it's so light in tone. And I think you carry that lightness with you. There's a real playful nature to your character. How important is that? I think we spoke the other day about sometimes movies from the kind of Baltic region, there can be a sense of... they can be quite serious, maybe a sense of victimhood about it. Was it important that this series was light in its tonality?
Yeah, that was the main aim, actually, right before we started the project, because, you know, we have this tendency to speak about deportation, like all kinds of bad situations that our country have endured while being in occupation period, you know, and we like to tell those stories from a victim position, you know, in a really heavy way. So. But we try to like tell a story about a guy who's an agent of KGB as well. You know, he tries to live. You know, because a lot of people actually, I learned that a lot of people didn't believe that Soviet giant could actually fall. You know, but they still held to their hope that this unbelievable transition could happen, and it can, and like it happened actually, and I think that it will happen again, definitely. Yeah, and it's like diving in. It's interesting when I contemplate about my acting career, like all 3 films I've done, and the 4th one, which will be about Uliana Semyonova, those are like period pieces. Oh no, the first one actually was about today, but all the time I'm like breaking into history.
Yeah.
So.
You're also taking risks and making bold decisions. I know you've spoken about it today, but to speak about this, the biopic, you mentioned that she's your neighbour as well in Latvia. Can you just talk a little bit about the genesis of that project and kind of what inspired you to? Because a lot of actors they wouldn't cross their mind to go, oh, I'm going to play her in a biopic. But somewhere in you thought to yourself, actually, that's something I would love to do, and that's a fascinating, quite unique choice, I suppose, to hear as an audience member.
Yeah, but there was no other way for me. Like when I got this idea, I was so thrilled. You know, there was no option not to tell the story. And my acting master, always told me, whenever you like coming into a scene or on the stage, why you are going there, you know, what do you want to tell, what are you against as well. So, you know, and this idea came from the right place, it came from the heart, and I really truly surely believe that in things coming from heart, you know, and that's the case, you know. And I felt that I'm in this position where I truly believe that no other person can tell this story better than me. You know, I have studied her life for 8 years. I've like had this project in my hands and lived with it for such a long time, and I am really emotional about it because I love her. You know, good character is always a contradiction, and I love big human beings. You know, because they are like so scary because they are so big, but at the same time, the brightness, the unique light they are having, the warmth, the irony afterwards, how they learn to laugh about themselves. I think there's nothing bigger than a person being able to laugh about himself, you know. I think that's such a good quality, and this story is about being an outcast, being a misfit, you know, and that's those kind of stories I've loved all my life, you know. Kaspar Hauser from Werner Herzog or David Lynch Elephant Man. I just truly love it. It's my theme, you know. Square pegs into round circles. It's about me, and everybody has felt like that, you know. Everybody, like, so it's universal, and it's no matter what language you speak, what country, where you're from, you know, what gender you are, because it's universal. It's about everyone, woman or man, whatever. You know?
And can you just recall when you first brought the idea to her and spoke to her about playing her in a film? And are you looking forward to her seeing the finished product?
Definitely. That's obvious. Yeah, but it was quite hard to get to her. You know, she's a really legendary person in Latvia. Actually, I think she's one of the most famous people of Soviet Union as well. She was, you know, she was a national team, women's basketball national team, and they called it Uliana Semyonova's team, not, you know, USSR team, but Semyonova's team. She was iconic. And well, I wrote her a letter, which was like a love letter. You know, I was a student back then and nobody knew me, and I had to do it like my own way. So I went to her office and I brought her the letter, and she read it but never answered me. And after 2 years, when I found the director who wanted to tell this story, who found like this project interesting, same as I do, he arranged this meeting, and I finally met her, you know, and she said that of course she read the letter. You know, it was with a yellow flower on it, and she was really happy about it. But you know, she's like, she don't like people she don't know, so it was really hard to get to her. But right now we are good friends, and she accepted me portraying her, and I know that she has her reasons, and those are one of the themes in our film as well.
And just very quickly, one last thing, just very quickly. I just wanted to ask, just because I read that you wanted to do a puppet course at one point. Do you reckon you will revisit puppetry one day?
Definitely, that's the best profession actually, because we as actors, we must know how to put ourselves away and make the puppet the main thing. Yeah. So it has taught me so many great lessons, and I don't see it as anything for children, you know. In history, it was like really political thing, puppet can say anything, which I as a person don't dare to say, about government and situations and everything. And object theater, it's like we in film, like in theater, we cannot die, but puppet can fly, puppet can die, puppet can, become alive, everything, and it's so easy. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful craft, a beautiful art.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!